Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch or would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Patek Philippe Calatrava reference 6007A-001 in stainless steel with a blue dial, limited to just 1,000 pieces and created in 2019. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of this, then I'll tell you about where it stands in the lineup of other similar Calatravas. Then I'll tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. This watch was created in 2019 and released in 2020. So you might be wondering, well, now that we're in 2025, what has happened? Well, Patek Philippe has since then created in 2023 three variants in white gold, and that's it. There's only four models of these, or four models of this 6007 reference. One in stainless steel, which is what you're looking at here, and the other three are in white gold and have different colors. They have a yellow, red, and blue accent one. They're basically the same watch with just different accents. Okay, so why did they produce this steel version? Well, in 2019, Patek Philippe made a new factory, and they spent something like, I don't know, 680 million Swiss francs or something, which is it's nearly like, I don't know, 800 million USD. So it's a lot of money. And they invested tons of money to make a new factory. And as a result of making this factory, they wanted to commemorate it with a watch. And they commemorated it with 1,000 pieces of this Calatrava. And they did normally, what is special is normally Calatravas or their dress watches are all made in precious material, such as rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, platinum, something like that. But in this situation, they did it in steel, and they don't do a lot of watches in steel in general, and they decided to make this one in steel, and a very cool color. So that is a little bit about this history. I just told you about where it stands in the lineup. They've since released, so this one was released in 2020, and the white gold versions were released 3 years later in 23. Okay, so let's start talking about this watch itself, starting with the case. Now the case is a 40 millimeter case, and that is still the same in this current reference. And what is kind of cool about this case is, first, let's start with the diameter. 40 millimeters is a really nice size for a dress watch. Now this is considered a dress watch. It's under their Calatrava section. Calatrava is all about dress watches, not a sports watch. But as you can probably see for yourself, it doesn't look that dress watch like. It looks a bit more sporty, and that's because they intentionally did that, and they carried that over in their other white gold versions. They started with this one, and as you can see, let's start with the case. Now, since this is a Calatrava, the case is not going to be all crazy. It's not going to have like stepped lugs or hollowed out lugs or anything like that. They're just going to have very basic lugs and a case to it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Calatrava is their entry-level watch. They're not going to pull out all the stops for their most basic watch. And the price tag kind of, tells you that. I mean, yes, the price tag's not cheap. It was around 30,000 retail, and the resale on the secondary market is somewhere in the 40s. So we're selling it in the 40s. And if you'd like to buy it, please go to jazztime.com or click on the link in the description below. But you can see that since Patek makes watches all the way up to $1 million, that 30,000-40,000 is at their low end. So they don't put all the crazy stops on their casework here. But nevertheless, it is still very beautiful, and there's something to be said about a simple case. It's a simple case, as you can see, a high polish, and it just looks quite nice. Okay, and the case, by the way, is 40 millimeters thumb to index, which is a nice size, and the thickness is 10 millimeters. It's actually a little bit thicker than the current generation in white gold. The white gold one is 9 millimeters, the steel one is 10 millimeters, And that's because of the movement, which I'll get to it when I talk about the movement. Okay, that's enough for the case. The bezel is also a nice domed bezel here. They didn't do any like fluting or, well, they don't do fluting anyways, but Patek does do hobnail bezels, but that's not this kind of watch. They wanted to keep this sporty, so they kept it rightfully so with this domed bezel, kind of like a Datejust that has a domed bezel, but it just keeps the watch looking very smooth, classic, simple, and sporty. It has a dress flair to it. So, yeah, let's move on to the dial. This is where I really think the watch stands out. First thing I notice is that it has this carbon pattern. They call this the carbon pattern, which has little boxes, and each of them have these little stripes in them. And so it really looks like, actually kind of looks like a kid toy, to put these little things on, or like maybe a checkered flag or something, but this gives it kind of a sporty look to it. And they do it in the center. I guess it might even be guilloche. They use this. Have you ever seen this guilloche machine? I've seen it before. Once when I was in Geneva at, I forget which brand. I think it was. But anyways, it's this gigantic machine to do this very tiny job, and it's all done by hand. They guilloche these dials, and the result is what you see here. It's actually really quite spectacular. And this is how they did it like 100 years ago. So they still do it the same way. Okay, but anyways, yeah. And the hands here are very sporty. They don't use these other hands in any other watch, by the way, which is kind of interesting. If you look at the hands, they're like one of a kind. Usually Patek has like these very dressed-looking hands, but for this watch, they really pulled out this sporty-looking hands. And you have luminescent on the hour markers, which I like. They have a concentric circle with sort of two rings from the center, so you have a ring for the center motif, carbon motif, and then you have an outer ring for the numerals, and then you have yet another outer ring for the minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. And then you have the date even at the 3 o'clock. So it's a lot going on in this dial. And if you look at the carbon motif in the center, you have yet another concentric circle around that, which, how many circles do you have here? You end up having like, 4 circles? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have 4 concentric circles, each having a layer of complexity and adding to it, and just making this overall have quite a beauty to it. Yeah, so I'm going to definitely give this watch 2 thumbs up on this dial. I think they did a really great job. Actually, they carried it over more or less on the white gold version. They did more or less the same thing. And it also looks great. They have great accents on it. But this is the steel version. So, steel is more rugged than anything else. All right. Okay, let's move on to the strap. Now, they did a great job as well, matching the strap to the dial color. The dial is blue. They matched it with blue to the strap. And back in 2020, blue was the totally it color. Anything blue basically sold like crazy. But even 5 years later, blue for a guy is always going to be actually the best color. I'm actually wearing blue pants right now. So it's just a great color. I mean, as you probably know, they've gone on to other colors, but like green and such. But I still think blue is a better color than green. Green's a hard color to match. Blue is great. And with a strap like this, it's great. And I like that they put the stitching in white to match the dial. So most people don't notice all these little details. But that's why you're watching this review, right? Because you want to learn about this watch and maybe buy it. And if you do want to buy it, please buy it from jazztime.com, because we're making this review for you so that you can watch it at home and not have to go into some place to find this watch, because probably nobody has it. But Jazztime has it, so you could buy it from us. So that's a strap. Let's move on to the movement here. Now, this is the first time I've seen this on Patek. Check out the movement. Now, this movement is a pretty simple movement. It's their basic 3-2-4 movement. And it's so basic that, you know what? It does not even hack. What is that? What I mean by that? When you pull the crown out, the second hand doesn't stop. You have to turn the hands backward to set the seconds. Now, they've since gone on to fix that. I don't want to say fix that, but upgrade the movement from a 3-2-4 movement. Now, the current movement on the white gold versions are 3-3-0. And that does hack. But interestingly, that's not what I'm trying to point out to. They put this stamped thing on the glass here, which says 2019, to remind you, and it says new manufacturer, to remind you that, hey, this watch is it was conceived in 2019, born, if you will, for the reason of commemorating Patek Philippe's new massive facility to build this watch, and so they stamp it there. So I think that's pretty cool, you know. And it's kind of to show you, hey, this is a limited watch. There's only 1,000 pieces. And that's not a lot of pieces, considering how many fans there are of Patek Philippe, which there are a lot. It's one of their few limited. They don't make that many limited. Yes, they do make limited, but not that many. So to have a limited piece of 1,000 that looks as cool as this, I'm definitely going to give it 2 thumbs up. Now, I could go into some detail about this movement and, you know, point out some stuff, but I don't think it's that necessary. It's a beautiful movement. Patek makes great movements. They're known for that. They're known for actually making beautiful watches altogether. So, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that, say it's very beautiful. It's the old school movement, but it's still made to Patek's high standard. So there you have it. Now, time to try this watch on my wrist and give my thoughts. Now, I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. As you see, 40 millimeter does not look too big on me, or sorry, too small on me. It just looks just right. And it's a great watch for being a dress watch, but also just being kind of a little bit sporty at the same time. So I say that it kind of covers 2 birds with 1 stone, and it's also limited. So I'm definitely going to give it 2 thumbs up. If you want to buy it, please go to jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.